Okay, good afternoon, members of the staff and public here this afternoon. Welcome to the meeting. Okay, apologies. We have a full house, so no apologies required. Any conflict of interest in any of the items coming up? Sorry, can you not hear me?
Would you like me to do karakia?
Oh, sorry, yeah, dead right, sorry. Councillor Truman, can you kindly give us a very nice blessing for the day? Thank you. Thanks, Kirsty, sorry.
I te atua kaharawa, kia tata mai koe kia mātou I tēnei rā, manaaki te a mātou mahi katoa, I runga I te ingoa, o te matua, o te tama, o te wairua tapu, ake, amene.
Amene, kia ora. Thank you, Councillor Truman. Much appreciated. Any conflicts of interest on any of the items coming up? No? Okay, that being the case, we'll go to item number 1. It's confirmation of the minutes of the Ordinary Council meeting on the 23rd of February. Do we have any points of matters arising or points of clarification of those minutes? Councillor Boddy.
Thank you, Your Worship. After the announcement this morning that the timber company is not coming to Taupo, could I refer to page 1/5, item 10, which is the China trade delegation. So effectively at our meeting last month, we had allowed for a visit of yourself to Fingling to promote the idea. How do we change that? And secondly, the resolution that was passed is very, very clear, and in the document last month, it stated the anticipated cost of the council of between $2,000 and $4,000. This includes the cost of flights and accommodation for His Worship, the Mayor, and 1 staff member. Now, subsequent to that, that has changed, and there are others going. How many of the trade delegation that originally said they were interested, I think it was 14, are no longer part of it?
We've got Ms Walker here, the business manager, probably answer that, but the first part of the Fingling was the Fingling query, that deal now not proceeding. I presume that portion of the trip will not proceed?
Correct, that will not be proceeding.
Yeah. Okay, and the other question was, Councillor?
The other question was in regards to the agenda papers of last month. 10/4 stated that the 2 persons going from this council would be the Mayor and 1 staff member, and that was part of the reason that the resolution was passed. Since then it's changed that I believe the Chinese have allowed more people to go. So how many of the original trade delegation are not going, and where do we stand as a council to alter that decision to allow more cost to council other than what our resolution allowed?
So to answer the first part of that question, so the resolution was for the Mayor to attend the delegation and for a staff member to be advising that delegation. Since then we've had an offer from the New Zealand Shouting Association to fund 4 delegates to join the delegation. These representatives have asked specifically for these representatives, someone from the education sector, a representative from Tūwharetoa, another councillor and a council officer to join. So those are the 4 that will be going. Council voted last week did a ballot for the councillor to attend, and then the council officer has also been selected relevant to their skills. We've done an estimation of what that will cover. The Shouting Association are covering the international flights for those delegates, and also we're covering on the ground costs in Shouting. There will be some additional cost for those, for the mayor, for the additional councillor and the additional officer. However, we are confident that we can actually cover that in the budget that we did have in the resolution, because we have been able to make some economies there.
Thank you. Can I ask then, Your Worship, Mrs Walker, so effectively there is 1 councillor going, not 2, 1 staff member going, not 2?
No, so there is 1, the mayor, and then 1 council officer, and then now we have a funded, or part funded, would be an appropriate description, councillor and 2nd officer to attend.
So do we know what the part funding, whether it's in the budget or not, for this council will be?
I've done a budget for that, and I'm confident that we'll be able to fit it within the proposed budget that we originally did for the Mayor to attend.
Worship, how then do we stand with the resolution passed last month, which was for the Mayor and one council officer to attend?
Just before we answer that question, how many trade delegations? How many external trade delegations is there?
How many companies?
How many companies?
We've
Sorry.
had 7 confirmed at this stage, but there are still some to come.
Cool. The question of that of the other councillor.
Maybe a council officer may have to answer.
We can do an approval at the next council meeting. The trip isn't until May.
I'm just having a...
Handle that.
Okay.
Sorry, can someone point me to the page that you're referring to?
Officers don't need approval.
No, officers don't need approval.
So it'll be an agenda item for next month. Thank you.
We can do that. All right. Okay. Any other? Sorry, Chloe, did you want to say something?
No, that's fine.
Okay. Any other points of clarification or matters arising from those minutes? No, that being the case, could I have a mover, please?
I'll move.
Moved by Councillor Body, seconded by Councillor Cousins. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Against? Carried. Item number 2, Emergency Management Committee, Turangi-Tongariro Community Board and Audit and Risk Committee. So go to the first one was the Emergency Management Committee. Any points of typos or clarification? Any matters arising from those minutes? Okay, we'll go to the Turangi-Tongariro Community Board meeting held on the 8th of March. Any matters arising from those minutes? No? Okay. Yeah, I'll move my block at the end of the night. Yeah. Then the Audit and Risk Committee meeting 14th of March. Any questions or queries of those minutes on 2/9? Okay, so if I could have a mover for the minutes. Thanks, Councillor Park. Seconded by Councillor Krastowski. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Against? Carried. Item number 3, governance structure for the formulation of a reserves management plan for Turangi reserves. We have Mrs. Maver. Nice to see you, Sue.
Good afternoon. I wasn't planning on summarising this paper, but I'm more than happy to if you want to. It's pretty straightforward, I think.
We've had the agenda for a few days, so is there any questions or queries of the item number 3? Councillor Krastowski.
Technical question for me, please. This committee, will it report directly to council, or will it report to the Turangi Community Board first and then to council?
It reports directly to council, but the minutes also go obviously through to TTCB, to Turangi-Tukua, yeah, that's it, and to the charitable trust.
But that's only as a courtesy?
That's a yes, yeah, right, so everyone knows what's going on, but it reports to full council.
Yeah, thank you.
Councillor Stewart.
I think it's so wonderful to have this happening. I'm just over the moon that it's got there, and it's for Turangi-Tukua and Turangi, and then to be able to actually finally look at the reserves and do something with the reserves is going to be a really positive way forward. Yeah.
Good. Thank you, Councillor Stewart. Councillor Cousins.
Chair, so I think we should bring community board member that should be one public councillor, one probably over and one community board member.
We did.
That's why there's a gap.
So we've got a gap.
There is a gap, yes.
Because Neil was the other person.
So do we want another councillor on there, or?
I'd like to nominate Councillor Barry Hickling, Deputy Mayor. And my reasons for that is Barry worked on the Southern Lakes Reserve Management Plans as well, and he was the chair of that, and his knowledge was really great, and his knowledge of parks, reserves and everything else brings a really good grounding to the discussions at the table.
I'm willing to second that, yeah.
Chairman, I have a query then, and this may fall into the gambit of Mr. Hickling. On 3/3, option 4, can include people who are not members of the council if they have a special skill or knowledge. What would those skills and knowledge have to be?
That would be over to you as a council or a committee to identify what skills you needed to put in there. So it could be something around tikanga Māori, it could be something specific about reserves. I think that's the reason why you've got a nomination the way you do is the specific reserve knowledge. So over to you as a council.
Okay. So effectively, the person with the skills and the knowledge would be Mr. Hickling, but he is a council member.
But through the chair, what that also does aid is you need at least one council member to make to help be present. So this way, for some unforeseen circumstance, Maggie can't make it, they can still meet if Barry's there. Correct? Yes.
I'd accept that.
Okay, great. Thank you, Councillor Stewart, for your positive comments. And I think did you move the resolution, or Councillor Cousins?
I moved it and John seconded it.
Okay. Cool. So it's been moved by Councillor Stewart with the amended resolution with Councillor Hickling. Do you accept, Mr. Hickling? Councillor Hickling,
Yes.
sorry.
Thank you, Your Worship. Yes, and thank you to the councillors for their confidence in my abilities, Your Worship. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Hickling. Add to your busy workload. Okay, been moved by Councillor Hickling, seconded by Councillor, someone over there.
No, I didn't move it.
Councillor Williamson. Actually, sorry.
Second it.
Yeah.
Stewart.
Stuart Williamson, get it right. The amended resolution with the new name, number 4. Shani, thank you. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Those against? Carried. Item number 4, accountability documents received from council-controlled organisations. And that is attachment. Yep. Okay. Good afternoon again, Chloe.
Councillors and Mayor. Firstly, I'd just like to introduce my colleague Sue Shaw, who hasn't been before council before, but she has been involved with the CCO reviews and will be compiling all of the work around that. This item is pretty mechanical. It's basically for council to receipt the draft statements of intent for our 5 CCOs. These will then be assessed by council officers and by yourselves as councillors, and then we will bring a paper back to you in the April meeting for consideration to provide feedback on these statements of intent to the various CCOs before the finals are delivered to us in June. Obviously don't need to read anything more about that, but if you do have any comments that you are wanting to provide to us in the interim period before next meeting, please email either myself or through to Sue.
Okay, thank
Any
you, Chloe.
questions?
Thank you, Sue. Any questions of Chloe or Sue? No, pretty straightforward. Thank you. Okay, there's a recommended resolution there. Council receives the draft statements from the organisation. Thank you, Councillor Hickling, seconded by Councillor Krastowski. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Against? Carried.